Hello, Sigma Sisters. Welcome back to the Sigma Sisterhood, where we celebrate the strength and independence of Sigma females. In today's video, we're exploring why narcissists can't handle the unshakable force of a Sigma woman. While narcissists thrive on control and manipulation, Sigma females stand apart with their quiet confidence, emotional independence, and refusal to be controlled. It's a clash of worlds that leaves narcissists frustrated and powerless. Want to learn why? Stay tuned, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the Sigma Sisterhood channel for more empowering insights. 1. Sigma females. Expose the narcissist's empty core. Sigma females possess a rare ability to see through people, especially those who hide behind facades. Narcissists are experts at creating an impressive exterior. They're polished, charming, and confident. But what lies beneath is often insecurity and fear. Narcissists build their entire identity on these outward displays, fooling most people into admiring their false persona. They rely on attention and validation to mask their emotional fragility. Enter the Sigma female. Unlike others, she's not interested in superficial charm or hollow displays of power. Her perceptiveness allows her to see through this act almost instantly. She knows that behind the bravado is someone deeply insecure, desperate for approval. What really frustrates the narcissist is that the Sigma female doesn't even have to say anything to expose them. Her calm and indifferent demeanor is enough to make the narcissist feel seen for who they really are. This awareness unsettles the narcissist. They thrive on controlling how others perceive them, but they can't manipulate someone who recognizes their true nature and doesn't even care. The Sigma female's ability to effortlessly cut through their image is like holding up a mirror to the narcissist's fragile ego. It's a battle they can't win because she's not playing their game. Instead, she's minding her own business, leaving them spiraling in insecurity. 2. Sigma females don't fall for the narcissist's sob story. Narcissists have mastered the art of manipulation, and one of their go-to tactics is playing the victim. When things don't go their way, they'll often whip up a sob story so convincing that most people rush in to comfort them. This emotional manipulation serves to draw people into their orbit, making them feel sorry for the narcissist, who thrives on the attention and sympathy. But this tactic doesn't work on a Sigma female. Sigma females have an innate radar for emotional manipulation. When a narcissist tries to lure them in with a tale of woe, the Sigma female isn't buying it. She knows this is just another way to gain control and elicit sympathy, but she refuses to play into their hands. Rather than offering comfort, she remains detached and observes the situation with a clear mind. This drives the narcissist crazy. They're used to people reacting emotionally to their stories, showering them with sympathy and letting their guard down. But with a Sigma female, their manipulative charm hits a wall. She's not one to rush in and save someone who's clearly trying to manipulate the situation. Instead, her emotional distance keeps her from being ensnared in the narcissist's games. This frustrates the narcissist even more because they realize they can't control her or sway her with their usual tactics. For the Sigma female, it's not about being cold or unfeeling. It's about recognizing the manipulation and refusing to engage with it. The narcissist's favorite weapon, their sob story, is completely ineffective against someone who sees right through it and refuses to get pulled into their emotional web. 3. Sigma female independence invalidates the narcissist's superiority complex. One thing that narcissists crave is superiority. They have a deep-seated need to feel like they're the most important, intelligent, and powerful person in the room. Their sense of self is built on this superiority complex, and they expect everyone else to validate it by admiring and looking up to them. But when a Sigma female enters the picture, all that carefully constructed dominance begins to crumble. The independence of a Sigma female is her greatest strength. She doesn't need validation from anyone and isn't interested in playing social games to assert power. While the narcissist is busy trying to dominate and establish their superiority, the Sigma female is happily doing her own thing. She lives by her own standards and doesn't feel the need to prove anything to anyone, especially not a narcissist. This independence is a direct challenge to the narcissist's ego. For a narcissist, Their entire self-worth is wrapped up in being seen as better than others. But if the Sigma female doesn't acknowledge their superiority or, worse, doesn't even notice it, the narcissist's fragile ego begins to crack. No matter how much they try to assert dominance, the Sigma female's calm detachment and lack of interest in boosting their ego renders their efforts useless. In fact, the narcissist's constant need for validation starts to look ridiculous next to the Sigma female's quiet confidence. She doesn't need anyone's approval, which makes the narcissist feel even smaller in comparison. For them, it's not just that they can't dominate her, it's that she doesn't even care to compete. The Sigma female's refusal to play by the narcissist's rules completely invalidates their sense of superiority, leaving them feeling powerless and irrelevant. 4. Sigma females challenge the narcissist's need for control. A narcissist's main weapon is control. They manipulate people and situations to remain in charge, dictating the terms of relationships, conversations, and even how others view them. For a narcissist, control is synonymous with power, and power is their lifeblood. But when a Sigma female enters their orbit, the narcissist encounters an unmovable force they're ill-prepared to handle. Sigma females are fiercely independent. They live life on their own terms and resist anyone who tries to control them. Unlike many people, who may bend to a narcissist's will to keep the peace or avoid conflict, Sigma females stand firm in their autonomy. They value their freedom too much to let someone else dictate their actions or emotions. This defiance of control is not an act of rebellion, but simply the way they live. They have their own direction, purpose, and boundaries, and no one, especially not a narcissist, can steer them off course. This refusal to be controlled is like kryptonite to a narcissist. Their entire strategy revolves around manipulating people into behaving in ways that feed their ego. But with a Sigma female, none of their tactics, whether it's charm, guilt, or even threats, work. The narcissist might try to reel her in with compliments, making her feel special, or they may shift to emotional manipulation if that fails. But the Sigma female remains unaffected. She sees through the charade and continues living life on her terms, indifferent to the narcissist's attempts to sway her. The narcissist's frustration grows because they can't comprehend how someone could resist their influence. They're used to people bending to their control, but the Sigma female is an exception. She operates independently, not because she's being difficult, but because she simply doesn't care to be part of anyone's game. In a world where the narcissist is used to pulling strings, the Sigma female cuts them off, leaving the narcissist powerless and without their usual sense of control. 5. Sigma females force narcissists to confront their insecurities. Narcissists thrive on creating an illusion of perfection. They carefully curate their persona, avoiding any situation that might reveal their insecurities or flaws. This illusion is their shield. It keeps their fragile self-esteem intact and prevents others from seeing their vulnerabilities. However, when a Sigma female enters their world, this carefully built facade starts to crack. Sigma females don't play into the narcissist's delusions of grandeur. They don't fawn over their accomplishments or stroke their ego. Instead, they remain neutral, indifferent, and uninterested in validating the narcissist's self-image. This alone is enough to unsettle the narcissist, who thrives on constant admiration and approval. Without external validation, they're left to face the truth they've been running from, their deep-seated insecurities. What makes this situation even more challenging for the narcissist is that the Sigma female often reflects an air of quiet confidence. Her self-assurance comes from within, not from external sources. This makes the narcissist's insecurity even more glaring. In her presence, they're reminded of the confidence they lack no matter how hard they try to project it. While they may appear confident on the surface, the Sigma female's genuine inner strength exposes the gaps in their facade. The narcissist may try harder to impress the Sigma female, ramping up their charm and efforts to win her approval. But she remains unmoved, and the more the narcissist tries, the more insecure they become. The Sigma female doesn't have to say a word to bring the narcissist's insecurities to the forefront. Her mere existence does it. She forces the narcissist to confront the reality they've been avoiding. They're not as powerful or in control as they think. For the narcissist, being around a Sigma female is like looking into a mirror that reflects all their hidden fears and insecurities. And because she's not playing along with their game, they have nowhere to hide. This constant confrontation with their inadequacies is more than their fragile ego can handle, making them feel deeply uncomfortable and exposed. S are emotional vampires. They feed off the emotions of others to feel good about themselves. Whether it's admiration, fear, or even conflict, they need emotional energy from others to sustain their inflated sense of self. Most people, knowingly or unknowingly, give narcissists what they crave. They offer attention, sympathy, or validation, which only strengthens the narcissist's control over them. But Sigma females operate differently. A Sigma female is emotionally self-sufficient. She doesn't seek validation from others, nor does she offer her emotional energy freely. She's selective about where she invests her emotions, and a narcissist is the last person on her list. This emotional self-reliance makes her immune to the narcissist's need for constant attention and validation. Instead of feeding into their endless need for admiration or pity, she maintains her emotional distance, refusing to offer the narcissist the supply they crave. This lack of emotional engagement is bewildering to the narcissist. They're used to people reacting to them, whether through praise or confrontation. But the Sigma female's emotional detachment leaves them with nothing to grasp onto. She doesn't react to their attempts at manipulation, whether it's trying to charm her or provoke her into a fight. Her indifference strips the narcissist of their power because they can't draw any emotional energy from her. In the narcissist's world, relationships are transactional, people provide emotional energy, and in return, the narcissist controls them. But with a Sigma female, the transaction is one-sided. She gives nothing and asks for nothing in return. The narcissist's attempts to extract emotional energy fall flat, and over time, they realize they can't use her as a source of validation. Without this emotional supply, the narcissist is left feeling drained and powerless, unable to maintain their inflated ego without the constant emotional reinforcement they're used to receiving. 7. Sigma females don't fall for narcissists' love-bombing tactics. Love bombing is a narcissist's go-to strategy for reeling someone into their web. They shower their target with affection, attention, and grand gestures, creating a whirlwind romance that feels too good to be true. The goal is to overwhelm their target emotionally, making them feel special, adored, and deeply connected in a short amount of time. This rush of emotions causes many to overlook the red flags that often accompany narcissistic behavior. But for Sigma females, love bombing doesn't have the desired effect. Sigma females are naturally guarded, especially when it comes to relationships. They don't easily trust or get swept up by displays of affection, no matter how grand they may be. This caution acts as a natural defense against love bombing. While others might be dazzled by the attention and fall quickly into the trap, a Sigma female keeps her cool. She's not impressed by superficial gestures or promises of love that seem too intense too soon. Her discerning nature allows her to see through the facade and recognize that such overwhelming affection is often a sign of manipulation. What's more, Sigma females are highly independent and self-sufficient. They don't need external validation to feel good about themselves, which makes them less vulnerable to the narcissist's tactics. Narcissists thrive on making their target dependent on their affection and approval. But a Sigma female doesn't need or crave that emotional dependence. She already knows her worth, and no amount of love bombing will change that. The narcissist, realizing that their usual approach isn't working, may escalate their efforts, offering even more extravagant gestures or pushing harder for emotional intimacy. But the Sigma female remains unfazed. She keeps her emotional boundaries intact and doesn't allow herself to be swept up by the intensity. In fact, the more the narcissist tries, the more suspicious she becomes, knowing that genuine relationships don't unfold in such a frenzied manner. Over time, the narcissist will grow frustrated as their typical playbook fails. The love bombing, which usually leads to control, falls flat, leaving the narcissist without a foothold. The Sigma female's ability to resist these tactics protects her from falling into the narcissist's trap, leaving her unscathed and in control of her own emotions. 8. Sigma females are mysterious, which narcissists find unsettling. Narcissists crave control, and to control someone effectively, they need to know as much about that person as possible. They probe, analyze, and manipulate based on the information they gather. They want to understand their target's insecurities, desires, and weaknesses so they can exploit them. But with Sigma females, this becomes a nearly impossible task. One of the most defining traits of a Sigma female is her mysterious nature. She reveals only what she wants people to know and keeps much of her inner world private. To a narcissist, this mystery is unsettling. They're used to being able to read people quickly, using their charm and manipulation to extract information. But Sigma females don't play into this. They don't overshare or wear their emotions on their sleeve. Instead, they maintain a calm, composed exterior, which makes it difficult for the narcissist to get a clear read on them. The narcissist may try to ask probing questions or create situations where they can observe her reactions, but the Sigma female remains elusive, giving little away. This air of mystery is not an act but a reflection of the Sigma female's inner independence. She doesn't feel the need to explain herself to others or seek validation through sharing her personal thoughts and experiences. She values her privacy and guards it fiercely, which frustrates the narcissist to no end. They can't control or manipulate what they don't understand, and the Sigma female's ability to remain an enigma disrupts their usual strategies. What makes this situation even more challenging for the narcissist is that the Sigma female's mystery only adds to her allure. Narcissists are often drawn to challenges, and the Sigma female's unwillingness to be easily figured out piques their interest. But the more they try to unravel her, the more frustrated they become. Unlike others who may eventually reveal themselves under pressure, the Sigma female remains steadfast, revealing nothing that she doesn't want to be known. This dynamic leaves the narcissist feeling powerless. They thrive on control, and without the ability to predict or manipulate the Sigma female's thoughts and actions, they're left in a state of discomfort and confusion. The Sigma female's mystery becomes her shield, keeping the narcissist at bay while maintaining her autonomy and inner strength. 9. Sigma females don't tolerate disrespect or games. One of the hallmarks of narcissistic behavior is the use of manipulation and mind games to maintain control over others. Narcissists thrive on keeping people off balance, using tactics like gaslighting, triangulation, and subtle put-downs to create confusion and insecurity. Most people, unsure of what's happening, may fall into the trap of questioning themselves or trying to please the narcissist to regain a sense of equilibrium. But Sigma females don't play those games. A Sigma female has zero tolerance for disrespect or manipulation. She sees through the games narcissists play and refuses to engage. Her self-respect and strong boundaries prevent her from being drawn into the toxic dynamics that narcissists try to create. If a narcissist attempts to gaslight her, making her question her perception of reality, she doesn't waver. Instead, she stands firm in her truth and calls out the behavior for what it is. She doesn't let the narcissist's tactics shake her confidence or sense of self. Moreover, Sigma females don't waste time on people who don't respect them. They know their worth and won't tolerate anyone who tries to diminish it through mind games or manipulative behavior. The moment a narcissist shows their true colors, a Sigma female is quick to cut ties. She doesn't engage in back-and-forth arguments or allow the narcissist to drag her into unnecessary drama. Instead, she walks away, choosing peace over chaos. For a narcissist, this refusal to engage is maddening. They're used to people playing along, whether out of confusion or fear of conflict. But the Sigma female's directness and unwillingness to tolerate disrespect take away the narcissist's power. Without the ability to manipulate or control her emotions, the narcissist is left with no leverage. This dynamic often leaves the narcissist scrambling, trying to regain control through even more desperate tactics. But the Sigma female remains unfazed. She knows her boundaries and enforces them without apology. In a world where narcissists are used to people bending to their will, the Sigma female's refusal to play along is a refreshing and often unsettling change. 10th, Sigma females are unaffected by narcissists' need for attention and validation. Narcissists crave constant attention and validation from those around them. They need to be the center of attention, and they thrive on admiration, praise, and approval. Whether it's through overt grandstanding or more subtle manipulative behaviors, they seek out constant acknowledgement from others to fuel their inflated egos. This dynamic works well with people who are empathetic, people pleasers, or those who may have lower self-esteem. But when it comes to Sigma females, narcissists find themselves facing an entirely different challenge. Sigma females are inherently independent and self-sufficient. They don't rely on external validation to feel secure or valuable. Their sense of self-worth comes from within, and they don't feel the need to impress others or seek approval from anyone. This makes them immune to the narcissist's demands for constant attention. A narcissist might try to position themselves as the center of the Sigma female's world, expecting her to shower them with praise or bend to their need for validation. But this tactic falls flat. Rather than playing into the narcissist's games, Sigma females simply don't care. They're not interested in feeding someone else's ego, especially when they see through the superficiality of the narcissist's need for attention. The Sigma female is focused on her own goals, dreams, and personal growth, and she doesn't have time for someone who is constantly seeking validation. This nonchalance often frustrates the narcissist, who is used to receiving admiration and attention from others. The more the narcissist craves attention, the more the Sigma female pulls away, unwilling to indulge their neediness. Another factor that comes into play is the Sigma female's strong boundaries. She doesn't allow herself to be used as a source of validation for others. If a narcissist tries to manipulate her into giving them praise or attention, she sees it for what it is, a tactic to control and feed their ego. Instead of playing along, she distances herself from such behavior, refusing to give the narcissist the validation they crave. This leaves the narcissist feeling powerless, as they're unable to draw the Sigma female into their attention-seeking vortex. The Sigma female's ability to remain unaffected by the narcissist's demands is a testament to her emotional strength and independence. She's not swayed by superficial flattery or manipulated by someone else's need for constant validation. Instead, she remains grounded in her own self-worth, focused on her own path, and uninterested in being part of anyone else's emotional games. For the narcissist, who thrives on attention and approval, this detachment is not only confusing, but deeply unsettling. They find themselves at a loss, unable to control or manipulate someone who simply doesn't care about their need for validation. The Sigma female's strength lies in her ability to stand apart from the crowd, unaffected by the emotional games and manipulations that narcissists use to control others. In the end, the narcissist's need for attention and validation becomes their own downfall when faced with a Sigma female who refuses to play along. She remains in control of her own emotions, her own life, and her own sense of self-worth, leaving the narcissist without the power they so desperately crave. The Sigma female is a formidable force when it comes to navigating relationships with narcissists. Her independence and self-assuredness act as a protective shield against emotional manipulation and control. Unlike those who seek validation from others, the Sigma female's strong sense of self empowers her to quickly identify narcissistic behavior and disengage, preserving her mental well-being. Her ability to set firm boundaries further disarms narcissists, who often thrive on pushing limits. The Sigma female stands her ground, leaving them frustrated and powerless. Additionally, her emotional detachment enables her to avoid falling into the traps of manipulation that narcissists typically exploit. In essence, the Sigma female embodies resilience and self-worth, making her a nightmare for narcissists. As more women embrace their Sigma qualities, they too can liberate themselves from toxic dynamics and lead empowered lives on their own terms.